上一集我们分享面试官在乎什么，讨厌什么。那在今天的单元，让我们来分享面试官要如何问出面试者的核心竞争力，也就是所谓的 core competency。Hello， 欢迎来到 Executive Plus 主管与沟通力的 podcast。I'm Sherry, an educator, certified coach, and style enthusiast。我相信专业有效的沟通是语言跟逻辑的完美结合。
And I'm Nick, a startup consultant, corporate trainer, and late-night gaming junkie. I believe great communication requires the right mindset and solid frameworks.
我们希望带给大家职场英语的技能、跨文化沟通技巧与其他能帮助您成为出色领导者的工具。
Join us each week as we share our experience, research, and methodologies to take your communication and language skills from good to great. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Executive Plus podcast. A few weeks ago, we looked at those classic interview questions and how to answer them. And in our last episode, we interviewed managers around Taiwan for what they are looking for in an interviewee. Today, we want to flip the script and actually look at the perspective of an interviewer. When you're asking questions, it's one thing to listen to an answer. It's another thing to identify what makes someone right for the job.
如果你有听我们上一集的这个单元，你也会知道啊，其实面试官，每一位面试官他都有他最在乎的地方，那不外乎就是来询问这个面试者他的 core competency。 那有可能这个面试官特别的在乎 problem solving skill， 他可能特别的在乎你要怎么样 overcome 这些 challenges， 但是这些都是跟你的 core competency 非常的有很大的关系。 So 今天就想要来跟大家聊一聊，如果我们今天是面试官好了，你到底要怎么样问出这一些核心的这些价值，而且你要去注意什么，有什么小细节是要注意的。那当然如果你今天并不是面试官，你是常常要去当面试者的话，我觉得了解这一些小技巧跟一些小细节也是非常重要的。
As a baseline for today's discussion, we're going to take the answers and the logic behind the questions in the book 101 Great Answers to the Toughest Interview Questions by Ron Fry. And we're going to narrow it down to the classic phrase of, tell me about the last time you. So a lot of times in interviews, they'll start a question with, tell me about the last time you made a mistake or made a good decision, made a poor decision, fired someone. But the logic behind tell me about the last time you and then give a scenario is often trying to seek certain core competencies.
Exactly. And I think every single interviewer out there is going to be something that you care about the most when it walks into any kind of interviewing scenarios. There's going to be something that you value the most because your company really depends on that quality to grow. Nick just said there are some classic questions like, tell me about 什么 when you made a mistake, made a good decision, and so on. 那当然我觉得很多问题不是在说你要怎么问出很聪明的问题，而是你的问题要很合你所想要找到的这个答案。 Now, I think it's really good to point out that there are actually 3 core groups of competencies out there, and they are dealing with people, dealing with business, and dealing with management.
And within these core competencies, you can usually separate out all the things that we interviewed managers about what they care about. For example, do they have integrity? Do they have good teamwork? Do they have motivation? Typically, they fall under these 3 core competencies. And so when asking a question like, tell me about the last time you made a mistake, the baseline that most people are looking at, of course, is this person going to be honest? Is this person going to show me that they took responsibility or they understand where the mistake was made? But even below that, you can start to see in their answer, do they have ways of, say, dealing with people or dealing with management? For example, if they made a mistake, did they hide it from their manager? Yeah. Does that reflect their views on management or their willingness to admit their mistakes up the chain. Whereas if someone talks about, tell me about the last time you fired someone, this is a core competency related to people. So it may just be the process they use, the outcome, but do they show empathy? Do they show sympathy? Are they able to leave these conversations where everyone may not be very happy about being fired, but they at least can understand or they can do it peacefully?
So as interviewers, what kind of answers are you actually looking for? 那当然我相信每一位一定有你想要找到的答案，而且尤其是这种常常要做 interview 的这些老板跟主管 you guys know what you're looking for, but here are some things that you can look for in an interview answers. So first of all is, does this person actually understand the job? Is the answer relates to the position? And we talked about this quite a lot in the past.
Yeah. Right. We usually encourage interviewees to look up the job description, look up the requirements, find any information from the website or perhaps some speech the CEO or a manager gave. Now, this is only relevant if the interviewer is also very clear on what was written in the job description. If you have a strong sense of, okay, what are our company's values? What are the job-related answers? When they give an answer, it should be an easy red flag or green flag if the person starts to bring up things that are directly related to your job posting or directly related to some kind of core value or core competency of your company.
Right. And another thing that's actually mentioned in the book, 我觉得也蛮值得我们来提一下，也就是你要听一下这个人他的人生是不是很 well-rounded, right? You cannot just have a job, you should have a life. Your life should include several different activities or interests. 那在这个他的回答当中，他有没有提到工作以外的事情？我觉得这个也是一个蛮重要的一个部分。
For example, one thing that you'll notice a lot is that if someone has a leadership role inside the job, they typically have leadership roles outside their job. Things that are outside activities, as Sherry was saying, someone who is well-rounded, we're going to ignore work-life balance, but they have a tendency to balance roles in several places. So, for example, does this person maybe lead their kids' soccer team or baseball team? Typically, if it's, again, a management or a leadership role, they're going to find ways to practice that skill, even outside of the office. You don't have to directly ask them that, but getting a sense of, do they manage things outside of their life? So asking and seeing how they operate outside of their work life can usually give a more complete picture of this person's personality.
Now, the last one, it seems like common sense, but it is worthy to just really pay attention because you're going to ask a lot of questions about their achievements, right? 当你问问题的时候，对方一定会开始讲，他得到什么奖啊，还有他做了什么事情啊，赢得他老板的赞赏啊，等等。也就是他在讲他自己的 achievement。但是当他在讲这个 achievement 的时候，他是不是也有 credit 其他的人？他是不是有讲到 teamwork？还是说他只是讲到说I did everything on my own. So basically you want to look for someone that shows you that he or she cannot do this alone, but of course they have achievement, but they need the team effort just to show that they can collaborate with people.
Yes, and this is really diving into that dealing with people, dealing with management part of the core competency. We always talk about, okay, in the manager interview, a lot of people like self-starter. I want someone who's motivated. I want someone who seeks answers, etc. But at the same time, if this person is going to be part of the team, it's not just a one-man solo show. It's not that they can Superman achieve everything. It's that balance of can they go do things, but do they also understand how a team functions? Do they understand how to support each other? Another piece of that can also be back to the idea of leadership. Someone can claim to be a good leader and I led these teams, I managed these projects, I headed these different aspects of the business. But then that's one half of leadership, the ability to, say, manage and tell people what to do. But the other half of leadership is, are people growing underneath them? Are they improving under this person's leadership? Or are they just being micromanaged and told what to do? So in their stories, in their answers, is it just about their own achievement? Or are they discussing like, this person was an integral part of the team. I watched them grow from being very shy to starting to take charge of their own projects, and I helped foster that. That, for most managers, is real leadership. That's not just micromanaging.
今天不管你是面试官还是面试者，很希望从今天的单元可以了解到有几个非常重要的 core competencies， 所以在你准备面试或者是准备这些答案的过程当中，你能够知道说你要找什么样子的故事来 support 今天的答案，还有你今天到底要从对方这个答案要听到什么。What are the important things that you have to listen to? So yeah, so really hope that this helps a lot of you guys out there who are searching or currently looking for someone to join your company.
Definitely. The next time that you interview someone, hit those 3 core competency. Do they know how to deal with people? Do they know how to deal with the business? And they know how to deal with management. If you can suss out these core competencies, usually you'll find a good interviewee. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
The Executive Plus podcast is a Presentality Group production, produced and hosted by Sherry Fang and Nick Howard. You can search us on Facebook, 主管英文 Executive Plus. You can also find us on Instagram, Communication R&D, and email us at sherry@epstyleplus.com.